Hello and welcome to Gay Church. This is Chatting with Zach. And today I'm just going to be talking about today's sermon will be talking about putting money back into God and Jesus's community. Um Basically, when I say rich, a lot of people think, money and all that stuff like that, but you can also be rich and have a talent. Say if you know how to draw real well, or if you know how to bake real well, if you everyone I feel like is rich. You know what I mean? They have the ability or the tools in which to make themselves rich, and they just have to actually do it. You know, and that's why today's sermon is about putting money back into God's and Jesus's communities. Because I just now put up the one campaign. It's about ending poverty and other issues in the world. Basically, they don't ask for money, they don't ask for canned foods, they just ask for you to sign your name on a petition in order to get things passed and everything like that. So basically it will end poverty and other issues in the world. But just click on my link, which is on my Twitter page or my Facebook page, and read a little bit more about it just to check it out. But it's a very good website. And so yes, putting money back into God's and Jesus communities. That's the sermon for today. And since I don't understand how, I love, going to church and everything like that, and I definitely go every Sunday. But it's the thing of, in Israel, because Jesus was Jewish and Muslim, well, sorry, not Muslim, but Middle Eastern. And it's like in Israel, where the Jews stay, they are not quite up to the modernized world. So you say it's kind of like poverty stricken, but not really. I feel like, some more money need to be put into Israel, since that is, where Jesus was born and that's Jesus's people. I feel like more money needs to be in, to actually build the city up. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by putting money back in the God's and Jesus community. I feel like, a lot of pastors and everything like that, you know what I mean, that are out there now. I feel like, it's 2020. Israel should have been, helped out a little bit or something. You know what I mean? So right now, the Israel people, the Jewish people, are, like praying to a wall, because of back in the days their church got burnt, and all they have now is a wall. And it's a historical place, and it's a very spiritual and holy place, but they're praying to a wall, in which, you can keep the wall but actually rebuild a church right there. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things, that needs to be more modernized, and needs to be more, rebuilt. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by this sermon today, about putting money back into God's and Jesus's communities. Because either one pastor or all the pastors around the world could actually help out to actually help build a new church in Israel, where the prayer wall, that's what they call it. It's a historical place. It's called the prayer wall. And, it's right there in Israel, where Jesus was actually, where that's his people, the Jewish people. So I'm thinking, that's something in which I think pastors should actually, come together, or if they want to do it on their own, that's up to them, and actually rebuild the church right there over it. Or, you get what I'm saying? Just rebuild a church so people can actually go there and pray, and don't have to worry about, other things and stuff like flies or anything like that. Rebuild the church right there. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like, like a pastor, or all the pastors should get together and actually rebuild a church right there where the prayer wall is, because it's a historical holy place. but it got burnt down a long time ago. So right now, I feel like, the pastors should, either one person or either all the pastors around the world should get together and actually rebuild a church in Israel. And yeah, like I was saying about, being rich. Rich isn't just basically, having a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? You can be rich with a talent of singing, of basically, drawing, baking. You know what I mean? Putting money back into God's and Jesus's communities. You have, basically you can just, say, if you know how to draw, you can actually draw, a homeless person or something like that, and just spread the word about, homelessness needs to be, banished or taken away. You know what I mean? Just put on there, yeah, basically that, homelessness needs to be banished, needs to be taken away. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things in which you can put money back into God's and Jesus communities. Like basically, back to the pastors, I was saying, basically rebuild the church. But and after you rebuild the church and everything like that, you can start helping out around the world. All the pastors could get together instead of just staying in, in one spot, in your own community. You can spread out around the world as pastors and actually, get things rebuilt. You know what I mean? Say if a building needs to be rebuilt. Say if a community needs a basketball court or needs this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? All the pastors need to be together and, spread their wings around the world. You know what I mean? Actually, help each other out to build an even more better community for everyone. And that's something in which I feel like should happen. You know what I mean? It's tons of communities that are poverty stricken and, need stuff. You know what I mean? Just like the homeless people on the street, you can get homeless people off the street and put them in shelters. You know what I mean? It's not that very difficult or hard to actually, end poverty and end other issues in the world. You know what I mean? So I feel like the pastors, since they are God's people, preaching the gospel and preaching about God, should actually, come together either by themselves, try and end, homelessness, try to end, diseases in the world, you know what I mean? By, donating stuff, actually putting money towards, rebuilding God's and Jesus communities. Because every Sunday, they get paid instead of building, yes, you have a church, but instead of building a second church, in which you could build a second church too, but, it's time to focus on God and Jesus's communities, because, it's so many homeless people now out there and everything like that. And it's time to actually, work to get things in order. So yeah, you know what I mean? Pastors, I feel like, they have a big responsibility. You know what I mean? As, God's and Jesus, mouthpiece. They have a big, job to do, in which, spread your wings around the world, either one pastor, or if you want to, get all the pastors in the world to actually, rebuild things, like rebuild the church in Israel, in poverty, find cures for diseases by, just rebuilding. Building like a place where, people out there. I know somebody out there probably even right now have the cure for coronavirus, a vaccine, but we don't know that because, all the scientists and stuff like that, they're doing their job because they have the credentials. But I feel like somebody out there who don't have the credentials probably actually has the cure. You get what I'm saying? So it's cool. It's something in which, I feel like it's time for the pastors to actually go out and do something and actually, contribute, in a big way. Yes, you have contributed throughout the years and helped out a lot of people, but it's time for you to spread your wings around the world. It's time to end poverty. It's time to end homelessness. It's time to end diseases. And these are the things I'm saying, you know what I mean? You have to, put the money towards something, productive. It's all good to buy, rebuild a second church. But at this time when Israel is still, it's a little bit stricken, but not really. It's modern, but not modern. It doesn't have any cities, and it's not modernized when it needs to be a little bit more, up to par. It needs to catch up with the times. And so, yeah, I feel like the pastors should rebuild a church there where the prayer wall is, so everyone can actually go in and the prayer wall will be there and actually pray to the prayer wall and everything like that. Because, it's, God's and Jesus's people, the Jewish people. And I feel like, it's time for us to actually help them out also. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like, should happen, And like I was saying with being rich, it's not all about making money. Yes, it's good to have money for sure. But you can be rich with the talent to draw or bake or paint or anything, you know what I mean? And I feel like, in order to put money back into God's and Jesus's communities, one way of actually putting money back into God's and Jesus's communities is by, so you can draw a picture of a homeless person or draw a picture of, somebody you're on the street. You get what I'm saying? Like a homeless person on the street, and be put at the top, in poverty, in homelessness, in a lot of stuff you can actually do by putting money back into God's and Jesus's communities. You can bake an angel cake, you can bake a Jesus cake. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of things in which that can be contributed in order to, put money back into God's and Jesus's communities. So that's what I'm saying by being rich. You get what I'm saying? It's basically, yes, it's good to have money in which you can put that money into, building a place where, that can end diseases around the world. You get what I'm saying? It's good to have money. It's good to be rich, but you can be also rich with a talent, you know? So, yes, that's the sermon of the day. Putting money back into God's and Jesus's communities. And you've just been chatting with Zach, and make someone smile today. All right, love you.